Merry Christmas from Crypto Dummy. Just wanted to shout out to everyone, making sure you all have a safe and prosperous Christmas and New Year. If you've seen the charts and you've seen a massive pullback this week and wondering what's happened, don't freak out. It's all good. So what's going on? Well, for a start, we've had our usual Christmas pullback. It happens this time every year. We have a little bit of a retracement. Obviously, a lot of people go on Christmas holidays, take profits to be able to pay for presents and other festive activities. So this happens every year. On top of this, the Pulse and Hex community have been waiting with bated breath on the SEC versus Richard Heart case. We were hoping we would have a result by now. Before the Christmas period. That hasn't happened. We're hoping that it will be early in the new year, and from what we've seen so far and what I've heard, it's looking very positive. Now, this has led to some strange stuff happening. The first of which is the founder of Hex and Pulse Chain has been put on Interpol's most wanted list. That's right. You got to ask yourself, WTF? How does a crypto engineer, because that's all he really is, because he's just designed a contract and based a community around it. We willingly go in and buy these tokens ourselves at our own risk, and this is apparent from the start. So why does someone like that go on the most wanted list with criminals, rapists, crime bosses? Apparently Finland says he owes taxes and that maybe he's assaulted some young girl. I can't see that happening either. If we haven't learned anything over the last year or so with the Trump campaign administration, these are nothing more than tools. Slander and disinformation are the tools that they use to push their agenda. And we've seen it over and over in the last year and a half. And this is just nothing different. Obviously the SEC may have an inkling that it's not going so well in the court case. Maybe, I don't know for sure, they've used their friends at Interpol to do this. And of course, it's all alleged. There's no proof that any of this is done, but that is still very incriminating. And of course, a lot of people are flooding and freaking out and selling their bags, which is silly. You shouldn't be, because we've seen this for years. Instead, you should be like me and taking the opportunity to buy the dip. And that's what's been happening. And so with that massive pullback, we've already been eating our way through it. And it's been going well. So if you've got a little bit of cash, get it in there, but be safe while you're doing it. That's what's happening. It's all just disinformation. Until we see some true evidence against these things, it's just people trying to push an agenda, nothing more. Right, I want to go on and talk about buying the dip, and be careful, because I want to show you a couple of things to be careful of. So let's go on to that. Okay, so I just wanted to go over a couple of things in the name of safety. One thing I've noticed over the last couple of days as I've been trying to buy the dip is some of the prices and the price actions, trying to get the money over there. I thought I'd just go through some of the things to look out for and make sure that you're not getting ripped off. So one of the ways that I've shown you in the past is going through Coinbase over to Arbitrum using SparkSwap to then go into the Pulse chain. So I just want to show you a couple of things here. So for a start, let's look at this. If we're going from Arbitrum and we're using USDC, say if you wanted to, let's start on DAI. So we can see the one-to-one. So say if you were going to move in $500 worth, you can see here we're only going to get $472 in return, which is quite a hefty little fee. So just be mindful of that, and that these fees do exist, and make sure you know what you're getting. I did test it the other day and I found it quite amusing. So if you want to go higher, the higher you go, the worse it gets. See, now we're up to over $1,000 to try and transfer in. You can see that we've got $76 there that it's cost us for this transaction. That's quite expensive when you take into consideration the whole point of Pulse Chain and everything is to have a lot more reduced fees. So you can imagine if you get it even higher, $2,500. Now the fee, you're losing hundreds. The higher you go, and I presume this is probably because liquidity problems, and it probably doesn't happen all the time. That is something that I want you to be aware of, because quite often when we see a big pullback and a dip, we get excited that, oh, I want to put some more money and buy it, and you throw it in, but you're losing a lot more by not checking what you were doing. So make sure each way that you do it, that you check the results. Sometimes it's probably better if you're moving smaller amounts rather than large amounts, as you can see here. Whereas if you go to a smaller number, then the amount goes. If you did that 4 times over, it still won't go get as high as what it will transfer the full lump sum. And another one to be aware of too is be mindful when you're changing into tokens that you're getting your credit worth. So if we bring up a calculator here, we'll do the same thing again. So we'll try for 500. And so it's going to give us for $500, 7,515,000 of the pops. So you need to be aware of what that price is. Don't just think, okay, that's cool, and accept. Do your due diligence and check the prices against everything. The simplest way to do it is find a chart that's accurate, Pulse Coin List, see the current price on Pulse Coin List, make sure it's up to date. Okay, so we've got 40615. So let's just pull up a quick calculator. Okay, so we'll bring up our big ass calculator for everyone to see. We'll type in the amount. So we've got 7515381.80, and then we are going to multiply it by our price, which is 40615.1234615, and our total. So make sure you check this. So you're spending $500, but you are only getting $462 worth of PLS. So you make sure you check it, especially on this particular platform where it's not showing you the agreed dollar value of the token. And we'll continue this on if we get higher. Let's try the 1,000. Okay, bring our calculator back up. Now we've lost $108 worth of coins. So you get where I'm getting at. So just make sure you double check it. And of course, the higher you get, we'll do one more. Okay, so now we have lost almost $500 in fees by doing it this way. So again, be smart, check your numbers, be aware of what you're getting. As last night when it was quite busy, I typed the same scenario in and I was going to get $90 worth of coins of PLS. Then I could have done myself out of $1,500, just like that. These are the things you got to be careful with. When you're on these sites, look at all the different channels and ways that you can move money around and see what's the best. Things normally are bound by liquidity. So if there's not a lot of liquidity in a certain bridge, a certain pair, then you can have a lot of slippage and it can not be worth your while by doing it. Another one is doing it through, if you've got the Internet Money Wallet. So if we do it another way, the new features in the Internet Money Wallet is another way of going about it. So we can do chain. So if I've brought money over on the Arbitrum network and I want to get it into the Pulse chain, we can do so by exchange. Now you can't do it via the USDC this way, exchanging via a bridge like this. You can only do the main token that is used for fees. In this case, it is an Ethereum on the Arbitrum network. So if we were to do it this way, you can only do small amounts for now. So we can look at this by going over, turn it into Pulse chain, 0.1. Okay, so you can see here, there's still fees involved. So 0.1 of Ethereum, $349 at the moment. And you are going to lose around about $6. So that's a little bit more acceptable. It'd be nice if it was down around that $2 mark as a transaction fee, would be a lot better, but it is a way. It's very limited to what you can put through. As you can see, the maximum amount you can process is 0.11. So, which is about $400, I think it works out at 0.11. Oh, and there you go. So that swap come up very, very good. So 0.11, so that's worth doing the swap there, simply because, if you can see here, it's almost identical. This is what you probably have to do. You just have to go through and try a few different things and see which gives you the best return. And as soon as you find one like this, don't hesitate, jump on it and go for it. But another one would be, let's see if I can find it. Okay, so we've got Portal X as well, so there's a lot of opportunity here for moving stuff around. Again, be aware of it. See if we can do it. So you can try these swaps yourself just by checking out pathways. Some of them work, some of them don't, depending again on the liquidity and what we have. So if we go Arbitrum, we go Ethereum on Arbitrum, and we want to take Pulse Chain and Pulse. And let's set a selection, see what's available. So, okay, so there you go. So it's saying that I can do a swap on this one and you'll get, again, X amount. The good thing about this one, it's giving you the figure here so we don't have to do all the calculations. The current figure, if you look in your wallet. So it's about $30 worth there. And if we went for it, 29, so that's very good. Again, if we were to go a lot higher, I believe it probably, okay, and so obviously not a lot of liquidity there. So as soon as you get up to 3,450, that much it will not do. So again, it's just a matter of playing around. So smaller figures obviously better. Whether we can do a 1, let's see. There you go. So that's letting you do a 0.1. 0.101, $340 odd worth, which I can tell you now that's actually pretty good from some of the other things I've seen. So very interesting. Again, last night I was doing this when I was trying to move money around. These trades weren't even open. They were just giving me no trade on most things. So again, you've got these 3 different ways to transfer around. Be smart, be careful, make sure that you are getting your money's worth. Don't fool yourself into jumping in and just agreeing to something and when you're losing money. Merry Christmas everyone, be safe out there, trade safe, and be smart. Again, buy the dip, it's worth it. Wait and see what happens, mark my words. It's going to be good.